So ESPN's Bobby Marks yesterday reported that he expects Tyler Herro to sign a 3-year, $150 million extension with the Miami Heat. And I think that I speak for all Heat fans when I say, hell yes. $50 million a year for Tyler Herro? Sign me the hell up. Matter of fact, I don't even think that's enough money. All right, did my rage bait work? Did I give y'all enough time to leave your angry comments and help the algorithm? I hope so, and subscribe while you're at it. But anyways, I started the video that way because I know most Heat fans definitely don't want to see Herro get a max extension. And of course, I know that everybody's been talking about that topic, but in today's video, I actually want to analyze the salary cap of the Miami Heat and compare it to other teams' books so you can see why it'd be a really bad idea to give Tyler Herro that much money. Of course, he still has a lot of stands out there, a very dedicated legion of people, and I do appreciate their fandom of Tyler Herro because he's a player that I'm a fan of. But although I like him, I can't justify giving him max money when we just seen him get shut down in the playoffs as the number one option 2 years in a row. But as I was saying, I think most Heat fans feel the same way. I mean, we can't watch our team get embarrassed in the postseason, losing by 55 points at home in an elimination game, and then believe that we have 2 max players on the roster. And of course, the Heat already paid Bam Adebayo, and we'll certainly have to talk about that contract later in the offseason. But the reason I want to talk about Tyler Herro today is because of that Bobby Marks article that had everybody freaking out yesterday. I read the full excerpt, and as Bobby points out, Herro isn't even eligible to sign that extension until October 1st, which is 4 months from now. I mean, ideally, Tyler Herro is in Milwaukee by then, if you're catching my drift there. Plus, I'm pretty sure the Heat are going to wait until next offseason to have that extension talk with Herro. Pat Riley said in his presser that they'll revisit this next year. Tyler Herro basically said that he's cool with that because then he'll get paid more money if he waits, which I think could be true if, 1, he remains healthy, 2, he has similar production in the regular season next year that he just had this previous year, and he makes the All-Star team again. And then number 3, he has to back it up in the postseason and prove that he can lead the Miami Heat on a run. If all of that happens, then yeah, Herro probably can get more money if he waits. But Bobby Marks points out that right now, Herro is eligible for $49.4 million a year over 3 years. But if he waits until next offseason, Herro would then be eligible for a 4-year, $206.9 million extension, which comes to $51.7 million per year over 4 years. So roughly the same money per year, give or take $1 million, which to the average folk is quite a bit of money. But for these NBA guys, it's not that much. But Herro would be guaranteed the extra year there. But then Bobby Marks also points out that if Herro was to make All-NBA, he would be eligible for a Supermax, which is worth 5 years, $380 million, which averages out to $76 million a year. Now, if this Heat team wins the championship and Tyler Herro wins Finals MVP, sure, why the hell not? Give Tyler Herro that $76 million per year. But if not, I think that's very clearly an insane number for him. And Bobby Marks finishes his excerpt by saying that he does believe Herro will get that 3-year, $150 million extension this October. And I disagree with that, not just because I think the Heat will wait till next summer, like Pat Riley said, but I also think that the Heat front office just believes that Tyler Herro is not worth max money in general, especially with these new CBA rules. Because in my opinion, max contracts should be reserved for guys who can be the 1A on a championship team. The salary cap just doesn't allow a team to be competitive if you're paying second or third tier guys $50+ million, unless you're way deep into the second apron like the Celtics were. Fortunate enough for them, they got their championship, but now we're seeing all the ramifications of that now, where it looks like they're going to have a pretty active offseason because they literally cannot afford to keep everybody on their roster. But right now, I want to take a look at the contenders from this year and break down their cap sheets. But to do that, we're not going to look at how much their top guys are getting paid, but instead we're going to look at the percentage of the salary cap that they take up, because the salary cap is increasing. Just like inflation of groceries over time, these guys will get paid more as well. Because Herro will be getting $50 million starting in the 27-28 season. That's when his extension kicks in. The salary cap will be a lot more higher. And for example, that season, Bam Adebayo will be making $55 million, which will be about 29% of the salary cap. So if Bam's making $55 million in 2027, 2028, and that's 29% of the salary cap, Tyler Herro making $50 million that same year will be about
26%
of the salary cap. So in totality, 55% of your salary cap would be tied into Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo. And I don't know y'all thoughts on this, but in my opinion, it would make it very difficult to build a championship team around those two guys if they are getting more than half of your salary cap space. But now I want to take a look at the top two teams from this year. We'll start with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who, if you look at their cap sheet here, you can see that Shai Gilgeous and Isaiah Hartenstein take up 47% of the salary cap space. And yes, Hartenstein's $30 million is a ton of money, but OKC actually timed up that contract very perfectly, because Isaiah Hartenstein got $30 million this past season. He's due to get $30 million next season. But then the following year after that, the Thunder actually have a team option for $30 million, meaning that OKC could decline that final year, which is smart because in that final year is actually when J-Dub, Jalen Williams, is due to get his big money, meaning that the Thunder will have that salary open up to give J-Dub, because they can decline Isaiah Hartenstein's team option. Because, of course, right now, Jalen Williams is only getting $5 million, which is an absolute steal. But by 2027, J-Dub will have his extension money kick in. Between J-Dub and Shai, they'll be making about 55% of the salary cap. And instead of being tied into Herro and Bam, it'll be tied into Shai, who is literally the MVP this season, and J-Dub, who is one of the most elite two-way players in this league, who doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. Of course, I think Bam Adebayo can fill a similar role as J-Dub. I think he can kind of play to that level, but Tyler Herro will never play at an MVP level like Shai. And that's where you get into the problem, paying those two guys that much of the salary cap. Now let's look at the other team on the other side, the Indiana Pacers, who currently have 60% of their salary cap tied into Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton. Of course, we've seen what Tyrese has done this entire postseason, hitting clutch shot after clutch shot, literally carrying this team to the NBA Finals. And then on the other side, you got Pascal Siakam, who was so good himself that he literally won Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And once again, just like we said with the Thunder, I think Bam Adebayo can play at the level of Siakam the same way he can for J-Dub. But Tyler Herro will never have the kind of impact on a game that Tyrese Halliburton has. When you see what Tyrese does out there, setting up his teammates defensively, scoring the ball when he has to, hitting clutch shots down the stretch, Tyler Herro, unfortunately, just cannot have that level of impact. But now I want to look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, who obviously record-wise was one of the most dominating teams this entire regular season. And this year, they had 51% of their salary cap tied into Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, with 26 of that going to Darius Garland. And for a guy who we know is terrible defensively, which is literally half the game of basketball, I would argue that committing 26% of your salary cap to a guy like that is way too much. And sure enough, we saw the Cavs get ousted in the postseason once again early in the playoffs for the second year in a row. So you see the problem with overpaying guys. You just can't commit that much money to a guy who's not worth it. That's what it comes down to. And that's not me saying Tyler Herro is ass. He's not. He's a great player. But $50 million in the year 2027, it's just too much. That puts him in a tier of guys that year who will be getting paid around $50 million. That tier is Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Halliburton. And I just don't think Tyler Herro is or will ever be that level of player. So in my opinion, I think he's more worth $35 to $40 million, which is more than he's making now. So it's not like I'm disrespecting him. That's just what I believe he was worth. Now, Bam Adebayo at some points will get a video later this offseason because I feel better about his contract. Not great, but better about his contract than Tyler Herro, because we have seen him be the best player in the postseason for multiple postseason series. And we just haven't seen that with Tyler Herro. So I think Bam, that 30% of the salary cap he's taken up, for a guy who's kind of lacks aggression offensively a little bit too often for my liking, I do think if you pair him with a true 1A, whether that's Giannis or Kevin Durant or someone else, I really think you'll see his potential because of everything he does on the defensive side of the ball. But if you're Tyler Herro, too one-dimensional for me. You're a turnstile on defense, and when they have a good defender on you in the postseason, they make it pretty difficult. He doesn't provide anything else. But that's just how I feel about the whole Tyler Herro contract extension situation. Let me know how y'all feel down in the comments below, because I'm very curious to hear what y'all think. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, because all your support is greatly appreciated. That being said, I'll see you on the next video. So peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city trying to get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need that head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.